Hey, VTHV1 here. I'm just going to show you what I have been doing yesterday. It was a bunch more welding, much like the chassis on the 3-horse rototiller. Now I'm working on the chassis of the 8-horse. And it had a broken handlebar, you might remember on the initial three Goldilocks rototillers, I know. This handlebar was broken, this side was gone, and it had been welded so many times that the welders had eaten through the pipe. But it is a great template, so I took the measurements, and this isn't quite a 90 degree, so I cut my steel at 20, 20, 20, and 20 to get about an 80 degree turn. And here's what we ended up with. So here's the old Gilson 8-horse rototiller, and here's my new handlebars before they're painted. I'm going to take one more video of this after it's been painted, but there's my 20 degrees, my 20 degrees here, and then I welded it all the way around here, up underneath here, and then again along the base of that pipe. So if it falls apart again, I think this old rototiller will be toast, but it'll be very affordable when I sell it. It's not going to be worth a lot of money, but it would be a great rototiller for somebody, for a young couple who has an acreage or something like that, that just needs that first tear through the ground with some horsepower, because this one does have the horsepower. So anyway, that is it. Is there anything else I'd like to see? No, I guess we've done it all. And this is BTHV1 over and out. These engines are running great, by the way. And we are going to sharpen the tines too before this is all over with. So, BTHV1 over and out. Hey, Bruce here again. I'm just going to show you what I'm up to on the chassis of the 8-horse rototiller. Right there, you can see I've taken the Allen screw out of the shaft of the pulley, because there is some play in the bushing. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe down in here we'll have a look. There's some play there on that shaft. So my plan now is to get a wheel puller and pull that wheel pulley off that shaft. And then I can disconnect the housing from the auger assembly and hopefully replace that bushing. So that's what I'm up to. BTHV1. Well, now we have taken off the handlebar assembly off the chassis, and we are getting at this loose at the, I think you can see that. Let me just set the camera down. You can see the slack in that. Pardon me. And there's the wheel and handlebar assembly that I've spent so much time welding on. And now we're going to try and use a gear puller, or a pulley, or wheel puller, to clamp that onto there and pull that pulley off so we can get that bushing changed that's back inside there. Wish me luck. I'll come back when I'm moving forward. BTHV1. I'm just going to do a demonstration. We have moved this pulley back about the distance of that screwdriver blade. We only have that much left on our threads for the wheel puller, and we're just barely grabbing on the edge of this pulley here. And I use this socket here as my extension, because the angles just aren't right, because it's a deep pulley right there. We're not pulling at the edge right here, we're actually pulling from inside. So I've had to do a little cheat like we always end up doing, and my only real concern is how I'm going to get this back on again. But we are on our way, so just thought I'd give you a little look at that. Okay, it's BTHV1. We got the pulley off. And when I got it off, I noticed there were some score marks on the shaft, if you can see that. right there. So that told me that there was something wrong with the inside of the pulley that I took off. Very big, very deep pulley. You can see it's got a keyway which goes into that keyway there. Whoops, sorry about that. So then I found a second locking Allen screw, which is right, excuse me, there. I did not know that one was there because there was so much grease on the face of the pulley that I couldn't see the other keyway, or keyway lock. So now I should be able to get this back on once I polish that shaft up. So my next job now is to get this separated back in there and get a new bushing or bearing right there, because you can see there's the slack. That's what I'm after to fix, right there. Okay, tubers, we're back, and I'm just taking these bolts out of the casing that holds the flange, the outside flange, to the drive shaft assembly. I've got one nut left to take out there, and then things are going to shift dramatically. I've also disconnected back up in there for where the chassis connects to the drive shaft assembly. So this is going to get a little exciting, but I just thought I'd show you this before, and I'm hoping that it's not all going to come crashing down. I'll be very careful, and with any luck at all, we'll see you in a few minutes. This is the bearing that is worn out. You can see it there, and it is ¾ by, now this is a little bit harder to measure, but I think I can do it. .75, which would be 1 3/4. So I'm measuring the outside diameter of the hole and the shaft depth. So now I gotta find one. Thanks for tuning in. Hi guys, it's PTHV1 back, and I'm gonna have to pull this shaft to get this bearing out. And on this shaft, from the front of the access of the worm gear assembly, there's a snap ring in there, and I'll need snap ring pliers to get that out, because I'm having a hard time getting the bearing out, of course, from this side of the shaft. So anyway, we'll shut her off. Okay, it's BTHV1 and we're back. I got the bearing out of this socket here. I did have to pull the shaft out of the end, right there. And that shaft is right here. And I did put it on the grinder a little bit, and to help it get a little shinier. And then this is how the parts came out, and that's how they'll go back in. I see there's a little rust on some of the bearings here, but we will fill that cavity with snowmobile grease when we're all finished, because it resists moisture and is almost a gear oil, but not quite, and it doesn't leak as bad through the old seals. So anyway, BTHV1 over and out. Successful day.